Hey, reach up there and pull those belts tight. One more time, you're watching the original Rebels Racing League.
Welcome everybody to Chicagoland Speedway. My name's Josh Hall. This is the original Rebels Racing League Xtreme Xfinity Series, and we are in our season finale. We got about 2.5 minutes left till qualifying begins, and let's take a look at the Championship 4 coming into tonight. We see Garrett Kinder, Andy Kurtz, Daniel Cunningham, and Travis Bieber. We know Garrett Kinder, a champion in the original Rebels already. Andy Kurtz, last year's Outlaw Series truck champion. And then Daniel Cunningham and Travis Bieber trying to play spoiler here and take away the championship trophy tonight. So it's going to be an exciting one here tonight at Chicagoland. But more importantly than the Championship 4, we also have the Grudge Match still underway as well. Logan Sturgeon, 5 wins. Jason Lottridge with 4 wins. And this was a best of 10 to see who was the better driver. It doesn't necessarily mean these drivers have wins against the field. It's wins against each other. And tonight, it's for the money. It's for the $200 here at Chicagoland. If Lottridge is to beat Logan Sturgeon tonight, it will go to a 1-race mano-a-mano race against each other in a random car and a random track. So we're looking forward to seeing not just who wins the championship tonight, but who gets the bragging rights between these two. And we'll interview those two during our qualifying later on. Right now, though, Jason Warren currently at the top of the board. I do apologize, just realized that my sounds are a little louder than I want them to be, so we'll get those fixed up in just a moment. And of course, we want to thank one of our biggest sponsors of the season, Kinder Farm and Ranch. Kinder Farm and Ranch was the sponsor of our Wreckage Rewind this season, and we appreciate them coming on board along with all of our sponsors this year. Of course, some of our great Xfinity sponsors would be, of course, our series sponsor, Goat Locker Racing. Along with Kinder Farm and Ranch, Shappy Edits, Smeal Racing Designs, Magic Mike Motorsports, Zeph Griffith, Pegleg Felts, P&J Motorsports, Reaper Racing, Big Fish Motorsports, Jason Reisman Insurance, Flexible Freight Solutions, Mesa Motorsports, all helping out this season, along with JC Motorsports, all helping out this season to make this season what it is. We do appreciate it. It's been a long season, and tonight we're looking forward to settling not just the championship, but the Grudge Match all at once. And a new paint here on Jonah Kober's car. That's a great looking ride. I know Jonah's been talking about doing a little more painting. I saw a post on Facebook about that earlier, so he's got a sweet looking ride out there for sure. We see Logan Sturgeon, one half of the Grudge Match, out on track as well, and Jason Lottridge both on track. Jason Lottridge just making his way out onto the track. Tyler Rice out on track making his qualifying attempt as well. Oh, and Tyler Rice losing it in the corner. We just saw Jason Warren do something very similar. It is a tough track and slick track out there for sure. Logan Sturgeon currently 3rd fastest on the board. As Andy Kurtz jumps up to the current pole. Again, not everybody's been out on track yet. Garrett Kinder just took the green flag for his first of 2 laps. And Logan Sturgeon's going to come across the board and currently into the 2nd position. And let's talk to Logan first out of the 2 drivers here tonight. Logan, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, what's going on, bud?
Man, looking good so far. Currently P3 on the charts. I know there's still drivers out there qualifying, but excited to see how the grudge match between you and Lottridge turned out here tonight. I know it is best of 10, and you've got the lead by 1. How much pressure is on you here tonight?
There's no pressure at all. You know, this is one of my best tracks, and I mean, honestly, this should have been in a long time ago. I mean, all 4 wins that Lottridge has is because I've been wrecked in every single one of them. So hey, I just got to keep my car clean and should bring us home tonight.
Perfect. And you feel very confident tonight about winning that money here tonight.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, man. I mean, you know, he finishes 24th every race and thinks that he's fast. So they must be handing out too many participation trophies in California these days. So we're just gonna go out there. We're actually gonna race and not just hang out in the back. And you know, so we're gonna go out and try and get a good finish tonight.
Well, good luck tonight. Hopefully it turns out in your favor, and we'll talk to you after the race.
Appreciate it, man.
So that was Logan Sturgeon. Let's talk to the other side of this equation. Jason Lottridge. Jason, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
I got you.
Man, some strong words coming out of Mr. Logan just a minute ago. How do you like your chances here tonight at Chicago?
Well, you know, it's Logan's best track, so I figured what better place than to race him and beat him is at his own best track.
Well, he said for a guy that finishes 24th all the time, you've got some awfully big words, and if it wasn't for him getting wrecked, then this would have been over a long time ago. How do you feel about, you know, the chances that you have, and how do you feel about him saying that you backed into these races the last couple of races?
I would just say to him, he should be faster.
For sure. Well, man, we look forward to seeing how this grudge match between the two of you play out tonight. Good luck tonight. I'm sure we'll talk to you there at the end.
Sounds good. Thank you.
So there you have it. The grudge match between these two getting ready to go down as we just have a few moments left in qualifying before we get ready, not just to settle the grudge match, but to crown a champion. Again, we've got our championship 4 tonight in the field. Garrett Kinder, Andy Kurtz, Daniel Cunningham, Travis Bieber, all going for the championship, as well as the little grudge match between Logan Sturgeon and Jason Lottridge. So we'll be keeping an eye on both of those all night tonight. But right now, we've got cars gridding up on the front stretch. So let's take a look at your starting grid. And before we do that, got to get our sponsors up on the screen. And your starting grid is brought to you tonight by Magic Mike Motorsports, and your Chuck Peg Leg Felt Award will go to the 5 of Andy Kurtz, one of our championship hopefuls. Jonah Colbert going to roll off second. Sam Wetstein showing some speed in the 3rd position. Logan Sturgeon out-qualifying Jason Lottridge by a lot, starting 4th. Daniel Cunningham, another one of our final 4 drivers, rolling off from the 5th position. Garrett Kinder in 6th. William Griffith rolling off from 7th, and Brandon Wallace rounds out your 4th row. Row 5 will find Chuck Pegleg Phelps and Jason Lottridge sitting back there, trying to get around Logan Sturgeon here. Back at 11th, your last playoff driver or championship hopeful, the 114 of Travis Bieber, and Charles Stevens Jr. in the 12th position. 13th, we'll find Tyler Rice with Jason Warren back in the 14th position. 15th is Michael Kosick, Jamie Mullins, and Ray Page round out the rest of the field here at Chicagoland. as we get ready to get underway here. Again, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching us live or you're tuning in after the race. We do appreciate the love and support. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that little notification bell. That way you get notified when we go live. We have live iRacing usually 7 nights a week. This is, again, the championship round for the Original Rebels Xtreme Outlaw Series. So after tonight, they're going to be taking a couple weeks off before we get going again. But we still have our truck doubleheader on Sunday nights. Tuesday night, we have the truck doubleheader between the Doghouse Racing League and the SCSRA. SCSRA Xfinity on Wednesday, Thunderstruck on Thursday, and Saturday nights is the Send It Cup Series. So tune in, again, 7 nights a week here on Intensity. Plus, we'll have some special events and some possibly some new stuff coming up here as well. So stay tuned for that. But get ready, because the pace car is getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. And Andy Kurtz is going to lead them down to the starting zone. The green flag is in the air. We are racing here at Chicagoland to crown a champion. And Andy Kurtz out to the lead early over Jonah Cobert. Kurtz has that bottom line advantage a little further back. We saw Garrett Kinder trying to force it 3 wide. Logan Sturgeon, he says it's his best track. He's running to the outside of Sam Wetstein right now, trying to take over that 3rd position. Sam, though, fighting back hard on the inside. And Garrett Kinder is going to have to roll back and fall in behind. Although here he comes fighting back on the outside of Wetstein to take over that 4th position as they come through the travel. And Andy Kurtz is going to lead the first lap. But already Andy Kurtz has a challenge as Jonah Cobert working that low lane has caught the back bumper of Andy Kurtz. He's trying to take that position away as they go make their way down into turns 3 and 4. Cobert running that higher line, trying to get a good run off the corner to try to get the momentum down the backstretch. And Sam Wetstein having some issues, has lost the field. Let's see what happened to Sam real quick. He looks like he just lost it by himself coming off a turn number 4, catches a little bit of the grass. He's able to keep it going straight without an issue as Logan Sturgeon is getting passed by the 54 of Daniel Cunningham. So Cunningham, another one of our drivers tonight, trying to win a championship as Garrett Kinder's moved himself up into the 3rd position. And don't look now, but Jason Longridge is up into the 8th position, so just 2 cars separate him and Logan Sturgeon. That's Brandon Wallace and William Griffith. Back up front, Jonah Cobert still trying to find a way around Andy Kurtz, but just not able to make that move as Andy gets a great run down the backstretch and into turn number 3. And Cobert was just really, really loose through turns 3 and 4. He was able to hold on to it, but sliding back just a little bit. Brandon Wallace now side by side with William Griffith. That's allowed Jason Lotridge to catch him and Logan Sturgeon. And again, if Logan Sturgeon finishes higher than Jason Lotridge, then Logan Sturgeon will win the grudge match. If Jason Lotridge finishes ahead of Logan Sturgeon, then we're going to have a 1-race playoff. It's going to be a random car and a random track as Lotridge has run down Sturgeon, and now those two are nose to tail. Kevin Kinder says he's checking in but driving. Kevin, it's good to hear from you. Glad to see you here as Garrett Kinder and Daniel Cunningham are now going at it. This is for 3rd place. And Jonah Cobert sideways off of turn number 2, but slowly catching the 5 of Andy Kurtz. And one thing I forgot to mention in the pre-race, one thing that's unique about Chicagoland is the backstretch is not a straightaway. It is curved. So it's a little more difficult to get a good run down the backstretch because you don't have that straightaway, but a curve, as Jason Warren is now looking to get around Logan Sturgeon. And just behind him, we see Charles Stevens Jr. coming up into the mix as well. So Jason Lotridge up 1 spot from where he started. Logan Sturgeon down 3 spots here at his favorite racetrack. Oh, Charles Stevens Jr. has gotten around Lotridge, and that puts a car between him and Sturgeon, as here comes Travis Bieber making his way through the field, trying to get up to challenge for a championship here tonight. Back up front, Andy Kurtz, Jonah Colbert still going at it. And while they're racing hard, it's allowing Garrett Kinder to close the gap. Him and Daniel Cunningham are making their way up towards the front. So we ride along with Garrett Kinder here. And you see how you can run so many different lines. And you look at this back end of Jonah Colbert sideways through the corner. He's letting that thing all hang out, trying to catch Andy Kurtz. Jonah's got nothing to lose tonight. Just looking for an opportunity to win a race here and play spoiler. But whoever out of the top 4 in points finishes highest will win the championship here tonight. As we see Travis Bieber stuck back in traffic, trying to work to the outside of Peg Leg Feltz. And Logan Sturgeon has Charles Stevens Jr. all over the back bumper. Great look off the back bumper of Logan Sturgeon as they make their way down the front stretch towards turn number 1. Great battle a little further back between Kosick, Brandon Wallace, Travis Bieber sliding backwards, stuck in the middle 3 wide. He's going to have to back out of it. And Daniel Cunningham and Garrett Kinder have both gotten around Jonah Colbert for 2nd and 3rd. So Jonah, who's been struggling a little bit here, seen him battling a very loose race car as we ride along with Jonah. He's been fighting a very loose race car since the drop of the green flag. You see him just working the wheel in there, trying to keep that car straight. As Garrett Kinder is now running down Andy Kurtz, along with Daniel Cunningham in tow as well. So as our playoff drivers currently run 1, 2, 3, and 15th. Further back, this mess is taking place back here as Peg Leg Feltz is now looking down to the inside of Jason Lotridge, and at the same time Charles Stevens Jr. was looking down to the inside of Logan Sturgeon. As Stevens Jr. is going to pull up in front of Lotridge. That's going to break his momentum and allow Chuck Feltz to take a look down to the inside. While that's going on, we also see Jamie Mullins in that Tennessee machine making his way underneath Lotridge as well. So while this battle is going on behind, it's allowing Logan Sturgeon to pull away just a little bit and put some breathing room between himself and Jason Lotridge. And Daniel Cunningham making his way around Garrett Kinder. Kinder might have had a little issue there. Let's see if we can take a look here Now Cunningham had a great run down the backstretch, using a little draft to set up the pass here on the 13 to move himself up into second position. Now he's going to try to run down Andy Kurtz here as we complete lap number 17. A little further back, Kosick taking a look down underneath Lottridge. So Lottridge now continuing to fall backwards. Might have used up his stuff a little early because he was marching forward. Now he's starting to fall backwards. And Logan Sturgeon under attack right now from the 88 of Charles Stevens Jr. At the same time, Chuck Pegleg Phelps trying to take a look around Jamie Mullins. So battles all over the track here. But as they run right now, Andy Kurtz is out in front, but Daniel Cunningham is coming in a hurry. You can see lap after lap, Cunningham just a little bit faster. Red means that Kurtz is slower than Cunningham. That time Kurtz was 0.06 seconds quicker, but Cunningham still running down that gap, trying to get himself up into the lead to try to win the championship here at Chicagoland. And Garrett Kinder falling back a little bit. I don't know if he's just saving tires or if he's just off the pace a little right now. Looks like he's also fighting a bit of a loose race car. You see him really working the wheel inside this machine. And you notice Kurt's not using the apron to try to cut the track, make it a little bit shorter. Oh yeah, Kinder really fighting that car. Has it really sideways through the corner. Usually he likes having a really loose car, but right now it looks like it's starting to hinder him just a little bit. Just not able to get the power down. And Jason Warren taking a look down underneath Jonah Cobart, who was also fighting a really loose car earlier. So a couple drivers burning off that right rear a little quicker than they wanted to, as Daniel Cunningham has caught Andy Kurtz. Cunningham very loose there this time. Through turns 3 and 4, loses a lot of time to that 5 machine. And a little further back, this battle is continuing in the middle of the pack as they're catching the 12 of William Griffith. And 6th through 11th under a blanket right now as Sturgeon's going to take a look down to the inside. And Logan Sturgeon doing a really good job so far of saving tires. See William Griffith almost up into the wall. They're going to be 3 wide off of turn number 2. Pegleg wisely chooses to back out of it to keep himself from being in the middle 3 wide. And Travis Bieber has hit pit road for tires and fuel. So maybe a little strategy out of the 114. Trying to get off sequence to win the championship here tonight. But at the same time, putting himself down into a little bit of a hole as he is now one lap down to the leaders. As we watch this Hornet's Nest back here continue. Great battle back here in the middle of the pack. Logan Sturgeon leads this group. Jason Lotridge, though, hanging on to the rear of this group. You see Brandon Wallace and Tyler Rice also making their way up into this group as well. So right now, 6th through 14th, pretty much all together in line. William Griffin's starting to run that really high line. He's starting to rip the rim up there. And if you can get right up against the wall, there's actually a cushion of air that comes off these cars. You can use it to gain quite a bit of speed and side force. So if you are right there inches off that wall, you can gain a ton of speed, as there is a ton of grip up there as well. That time, though, Griff overshoots that air cushion just a little bit, puts himself up into the wall. He's going to lose the position to Kosick. And here comes Jamie Mullins and Jason Lotridge into the picture as well. So up front, Andy Kurtz and Daniel Cunningham as they get around the 41 of Ray Page. Garrett Kinder way back off these two, currently 2.5 seconds behind Cunningham, with Jason Warren in tow as well in 4th. Jonah Colbert, who started in 2nd, back into the 5th position. And then, as I mentioned, Logan Sturgeon leads this huge group back here, where 6th through 13th are pretty much all under a blanket back here. All in line, single file. Jamie Mullins, Jason Lotridge are going at it here through turns 1 and 2. And Pegleg Feltz is going to make the move around the 88 of Charles Stevens Jr. So move him up into the 7th position. And Jason Warren running down the 13 of Garrett Kinder. As they come up on the lap car of Ray Page. So Andy Kurtz, last year's Outlaw Truck Series champion, showing the way over 2nd place Daniel Cunningham. And when Cunningham was starting to run down this 5 machine, now the 5 has turned the jets back on. He's slowly pulling away from Daniel Cunningham. Jason Warren, take a look down to the inside of Garrett Kinder to take away that 3rd position. And Jason Warren is on a tear, currently up 11 positions from where he started. Right now, he would be your biggest mover of the race. Jason Warren working hard to get that Ray Cobb Hard Charger Award here tonight. And the other big race going on within the race right now, Logan Sturgeon running up into the 6th position. And Jason Lottridge running all the way back in 15th. So Lottridge has been passed by Sam Woodstein, who is off track not many laps ago, and looks like Lottridge might have a little bit of damage to the right side of that car. We'll take a look here as he comes by. And you can see it right there. Jason Lottridge has been up into the wall. And that's going to slow down that 48 machine quite a bit. As Chuck Pegleg Phelps is now taking a look down underneath the 26 of Logan Sturgeon to move himself up into the 6th position. And Charles Lewis Jr. almost gets up into the wall, able to hold on to it. As Garrett Kinder continues to slide backwards, and right along with Kinder, you can see him really wrestling that car here tonight. Usually when Kinder's turning to the right, he's most at home. Now we'll ride along with Andy Kurtz. And that's a pretty wheel that 5 machine is holding right now. Kurtz staying up off that apron. Not really moving the wheel all too much, just letting the car do the work for him. And he's pulling away from Daniel Cunningham, who currently runs back in the 2nd position. And when I say pulling away, I don't mean by Butch, because these two have been running pretty much identical laps. Even though Kurt's running just a little bit faster. It's been minutely faster. Imagine we are getting set pretty closely for green flag pit stops. And as I say that, I see William Griffith down on pit road getting service. So far, 2 cars have come down to pit road. Travis Bieber last pit on lap 24. And then Griff just pit on lap number 40. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night here on Intensity Broadcasting as the Original Rebels Send It Cup Series will be taking on Atlanta in the last race of the round of 12. And then Sunday, we have our truck doubleheader as the Truck Series also at Atlanta for their last race of the round of 12. 3 more races to go in both in the Sunday Cup Series and both Sunday Night Truck Series between the Outlaws and the Rebels, as those seasons are also coming to an end. But while we're coming to the end here tonight of this season, we take a look at our 4 playoff drivers coming into tonight. Andy Kurtz currently runs in first. If the race was to end right now, he would be your champion. Daniel Cunningham sitting back in the second position. And then Garrett Kinder back in 4th place. And Kinder really fighting a loose race car right now, not having a handle on that car just yet, as Tyler Rice makes his way down on the pit road. And then our final playoff driver is Travis Bieber, and Bieber currently running back in the 16th position, and he is 1 lap down as he's making his way around Ray Page. That is a battle for position. Oh, Ray Page into the wall, down onto the grass, is not going to bring out a caution, as Jonah Colbert, one of the first leaders to make their way down on the pit road. So green flag pit stops should be happening momentarily. As we say that, Jason Warren and Garrett Kinder both making their way down on the pit road, along with Charles Stevens Jr. So green flag pit stops are starting to take place here tonight. As here comes the 5 of Andy Kurtz and Daniel Cunningham, both making their way on the pit road, trying not to speed. As both these drivers make their way down on the pit road, and that's going to give the lead over to Brandon Wallace. Peg Leg Feltz also down on the pit road. Trying to watch the battle off pit road. Logan Sturgeon also on pit road, as Andy Kurtz is down and away. Daniel Cunningham is also down and away. So now Brandon Wallace is leading over second place Sam Wedstein, as we see Garrett Kinder trying to get by with those fresh tires. And Sam Wedstein just got passed by the 88 of Charles Stevens Jr. He's also on older tires, just kind of hanging out back there. And the other battle on track we want to talk about, Logan Sturgeon, currently running in 13th. Jason Lottridge running back in 15th. About 5 seconds separate these two, as Brandon Wallace continues to stay out on track. And Travis Bieber trying to use a little strategy. Ooh, Bieber gets down on the apron. He's got Charles Stevens Jr. get on by. These are on the same lap. Although Travis Bieber has much older tires. He was last on pit road on lap 24. Charles Stevens Jr. on 48. So Bieber's tires are twice as old as the rest of the field right now. As Jamie Mullins tries to work around the 114. Oh, Bieber really loose. Almost comes down the track into peg leg felts. Able to hold on to it. Here comes Kosick trying to get by that 114 as well. And back up front, Brandon Wallace continues to stay out and lead here at Chicagoland. With a 7-second lead over second place, Sam Wetstein. Both drivers have yet to make a pit stop. When everything cycles, although here comes Sam. It's like he's coming down on the pit road as we speak. And when those two come around, it's going to cycle out Andy Kurtz ahead of Daniel Cunningham by a second currently. Another second from Cunningham to Jason Warren. Adam Lang in the chat says, "Let's go, Andy." As Brandon Wallace has now hit pit road. And that's going to put Andy Kurtz back into the lead here. But Daniel Cunningham showing some speed. And is cutting down Andy's lead lap after lap. How about this? Logan Sturgeon and Jason Lottridge run 12th and 13th with 7 seconds separating these two. As Brandon Wallace now gets out on track to split Sturgeon and Lottridge by a little bit. And Travis Bieber on those old tires continuing to struggle as Logan Sturgeon goes by without an issue. What is an issue for Andy Kurtz right now is at 54, Daniel Cunningham is coming in a hurry. Andy Kurtz has been running a pretty solid race so far. Started on pole, has led every lap except for the laps Brandon Wallace led while Brandon Wallace stayed out. As we are about 15 laps from halfway and Daniel Cunningham is there. He has caught the 5 of Andy Kurtz. It's one thing to catch a driver. It's another thing to pass him. Although Cunningham is showing quite a bit of speed and trying to make quick work of the 5 of Andy Kurtz. Up in front of Kurtz is the 48 of Jason Lottridge. So Lottridge very close to being in danger of going a lap down. Oh, as Kurtz gets around the 114 of Travis Bieber, who's out on those old tires, and you can see the difference in speed those tires make. That allows Cunningham to come right up on the back bumper. Cunningham's going to look down to the inside. They are side by side for the lead and the championship here at Chicagoland. Kurt's trying to use that high lane to get the momentum off the tri-oval here into the corner, but Cunningham battling hard on the inside, and Kurt's using a little bit of a side draft, trying to pull that 54 machine backwards, and he did. So now Cunningham's going to have to try to get himself back up towards the front as they are approaching the lap car of Jason Lottridge. So Jason Lottridge in jeopardy of losing the Logan Sturgeon tonight. Kevin Kinder says he's safe at home. Good to hear that, Kevin. Glad to have you along with us. As Jason Lottridge stays high and out of the way to let the leaders battle it out. And currently Garrett Kinder back in the 5th position. Unfortunately, lacking a bit of speed here tonight, having major handling issues with that car tonight, just not able to get a handle on it. And he currently runs back in the 5th position. And 3rd in the championship standings. Daniel Cunningham catching the 5 of Andy Kurtz again, running him down as they make their way down the curved backstretch into turn number 3. Joseph Wright says Kurtz is killing it. He is. He's led every lap except for the laps that Brandon Wallace led while they were on pit road. Although Daniel Cunningham right there off the back bumper, trying to make a move, looking down to the inside, not able to get the run as they come down the backstretch and turn towards turn number 3. Again, if you're just tuning in, this race is for all the marbles tonight. This is the season finale. With just 4 cars out there who can win the championship. It's all up between Garrett Kinder, Andy Kurtz, Daniel Cunningham, Travis Bieber. Andy Kurtz currently runs in the lead. Daniel Cunningham right there off the back bumper. And it goes way back, about 5 seconds back to find the 13 of Garrett Kinder. And then Travis Bieber currently running in the last position. And Cunningham is there. He just can't find a way to pass him. Every time he gets up to the back bumper, the car really starts to get an aero pushy, which means that there's no air on the front of that car. And it's causing that front end of that car to slide and not able to make the pass. We always talk about how important clean air is, and you're seeing that right now as Andy Kurtz is able to put his car anywhere as he wants to. Cunningham's able to run right up to the back bumper, but once he gets too close, his car just loses all handling. He is not able to complete a pass. It's also the first time we've seen Andy Kurtz really starting to use that apron down through the front stretch to try to keep that 54 behind him. Again, if you're also just tuning in here tonight, you know about the grudge match between Logan Sturgeon and Jason Lotridge. Logan Sturgeon currently running back in the 10th position. And Jason Lotridge running back in 12th as Jonah Covert makes his way around. Jason Lotridge is currently a lap down. Logan Sturgeon is running back in 10th on the lead lap. Right now it is 5-4 in the win category between these two. Not actual wins, but wins against each other. And if for some reason Lotridge can get out in front of Logan Sturgeon and win tonight, it'll force a one race off between the two, mano a mano, at a random track and car. But right now, Logan Sturgeon looking to capture the money between these two tonight. As our front two drivers are currently running up on the back bumper of Travis Bieber, who currently runs in the 16th position. And we'll need something drastic to happen if he's to get himself back up into the championship hunt tonight. However, Andy Kurtz making his way around Travis Bieber's. Oh, Bieber's back up into the wall. It's going to allow Daniel Cunningham to make it right on around. Although that checked Cunningham up quite a bit. And now Andy Kurtz's lead is just over a half a second. Garrett Kinder running down Jonah Colbert for that fourth position. As we are just past halfway. And for Garrett Kinder, he's hoping for a late race caution that can bunch the field back up to give him a chance to get back at Andy Kurtz and Daniel Cunningham, but currently running back in the 5th position. And 8 seconds behind our leader. If Jonah Cooper gets really loose, that allows Kinder to make his way down to the inside. He's going to take over that 4th position. And early in the race, we saw Kinder really working the wheel in there. You see him turn just slightly to the right now. Before, he was almost 90 degrees to the right, so that car is starting to handle a little bit better, but nowhere near where he wants that car to handle. As you see him really wrestling the car in there, not able to get the power down and having to steer into the slide. We also saw Daniel Cunningham earlier really fighting the car as he's running down Andy Kurtz, but even though he's fighting it, able to hold on to it. As now Cunningham is staying up off the apron, and Kurtz is running that apron here. Now we'll ride along with Andy Kurtz, and we'll take a look at his hands. He was holding such a pretty wheel earlier in the race, and you can see just effortlessly making his way around the track, barely turning the wheel either to the left or to the right at all. That is a car that's hooked up and on rails right now. See, he's starting to pull away from Daniel Cunningham, as we saw earlier in the run. Now, these guys were last on pit road on lap 49, which tells me in about 15 or 20 laps, we're going to start seeing some green flag pit stops yet again. Brandon Wallace was able to stretch it out to 56 laps Everybody else came in between laps 48 and 50. Andy Kurt's next victim to go a lap down will be the 26 of Logan Sturgeon. That'll put him on the same lap as Jason Lottridge, although Lottridge is quite a bit behind, as our first taker down on the pit road is the 12 of William Griffith. And we'll see if Griff leads the rest of the field down on the pit road. If everybody decides to stay out just a little bit longer. It is a little bit early to be coming in, I think. I don't think you'll be able to make it to the end. But also, as we've seen from a couple of these drivers, right now, handling is a premium, as we see Jonah Colbert right there on the back bumper, staying tight with Garrett Kinder. As Colbert looking down to the inside of the 13 of Garrett Kinder. Kinder able to get the run off the corner and keep himself up into the 4th position. And again, Kinder's in a position right now, he's kind of just hoping and praying for a caution to catch the field up and give himself an opportunity to win the championship tonight. But as it looks right now, unless something drastically happens between Andy Kurtz and Daniel Cunningham, right now it looks like Kurtz is going to have this thing wrapped up. But we got a lot of racing left to do. Still have 65 laps. But Andy Kurtz's lead is now over a half a second over Daniel Cunningham, and that lead is continuing to grow. You can see these two are pretty much trading back and forth lap times. Although last lap by, Daniel Cunningham was a little bit slower that one as well. So 83 and 84, Cunningham was actually a little quicker than Kurtz. The last 2 laps, Kurtz has been able to extend his lead by just a little bit. And the 31 of Jonah Colbert has now made his way down on the pit road. So we should see the rest of our leaders coming down pit road in the next lap or two. Andy Kurtz makes his way down across the start-finish line to start lap 89 out of 150. Again, we want to thank everybody for coming out here and joining us tonight here in the championship round of the Xtreme Xfinity Series fueled by Goat Locker Racing, as well as the Grudge Match finale between Jason Lottridge and Logan Sturgeon. Unless Lottridge is able to gain a lap and get himself back around get himself back around Sturgeon to force a mano-a-mano random car and track race. Speaking of Lottridge, Jason Lottridge has been passed by Sam Wetstein. So Lottridge no longer in the lucky dog position, which if the yellow was to come out would take him out of contention with Sturgeon, really, unless they were to have another quick caution. As Andy Kurtz goes by pit road yet again. Looks like these drivers are stretching out this second run just a little bit longer than they did their first run. Alex Veith says, let's hope the real DBC car runs better with Allgaier in it versus Lottridge in it. As we see Lottridge in that DBC car, that is the door bumper clear on Dirty Mo Media. And currently, again, Lottridge running back in the 11th spot, one lap down. Now in Andy Kurtz losing a little bit of time to Daniel Cunningham. Cunningham's now starting to turn up the heat a little bit. He's starting to run down Andy Kurtz the last few laps. As they're coming up onto the lap car of Logan Sturgeon. See Cunningham working hard in this car, trying to get himself up to the back bumper of Andy Kurtz and just really loose off the corner. We ride along with Garrett Kinder, who is really struggling with his car, continues to fight this car all race long. And Kinder just not able to get back to the throttle without wrestling this car, as he just got around Travis Bieber, who is a couple laps down. And William Griffith is right behind as well. Griff was just on pit road, has fresh tires. Ooh, big wiggle out of that 13 Big Frig machine. And Daniel Cunningham has come down on the pit road. He's the first of our leaders on the pit road. We'll have to see if Andy Kurtz makes a trip on the pit road this time by. He does. Here comes Jason Warren down on the pit road as well. See if Garrett Kinder is also, yes, Garrett Kinder also going to come down and hit pit road to get service done on his vehicle. That's going to put Chuck Pegleg Feltz out into the lead here. And Jason Lottridge having issues getting down on the pit road. Trying to get the car woed down on the pit road. Loses it. Almost gets run into by Michael Kosick, who Kosick had to go back around another lap. See Kosick trying to get down on the pit road himself. Lottridge loses it. He's got to pull back out into traffic. And unfortunately for the 4, not able to make it on the pit road and has to go back around. Brandon Wallace, again, staying out longer than anybody else here on this run as we just crossed the 50 lap to go mark. And the battle for what is the championship continues. Daniel Cunningham getting on and off of pit road much better than Andy Kurtz. And he is right there on the back bumper of this 5 machine. And with 50 laps to go, these two drivers are within 0.2 of a second of each other, fighting for the championship and fighting for the potential win here at Chicagoland. As they are catching the 48 of Jason Lottridge to put him another lap down. So that'll put Jason Lottridge 2 laps down. As Cunningham's now having trouble getting around the 48 of Lottridge. He finally clears that machine. As these two continue to fight it out. And Logan Sturgeon and Jason Lottridge are currently a half a lap from each other. Right now, Jason Lottridge running in 12th, Logan Sturgeon running back in 11th. Both of them are on the same lap. Although neither one of them is in the lucky dog position. That belongs to the 04 of Michael Kosick. So if a caution was to come out, those two would be able to fight it out amongst each other. Dale Cunningham taking a look down to the inside of Andy Kurtz. Kurtz is going to throw a block. That was for battle for the lead and the championship. Cunningham is there down to the inside now. They are side by side through turns 1 and 2, leaning on each other as they make their way off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch. Kurtz, though, able to stay out in front of the 54 of Cunningham. And Cunningham is starting to turn the power on now, turn up the heat and turn up the intensity as Cunningham trying to win this championship and the race here. Brandon Wallace is your leader. Still has not come down pit road, and these two are chasing him down in a hurry. Cunningham now going to look up to the high side, going to try to keep that car wound up there to get a run down the backstretch. As he comes down the backstretch, he's got the run towards turn number 3, but Andy Kurtz runs a very defensive line down into turn number 3, breaking the momentum of that 54 machine and causing Cunningham to have to back it up and try it all over again. Again, Kurtz runs the defensive line down into turn number 3. This time, though, Cunningham's going to have the run down the front stretch. He's going to look up to the high side this time. And as they make their way towards turn number 1, here comes Cunningham throwing it back down to the inside. Pounds it in deep. But Kurtz now able to hold the high side wide open to keep the momentum up and keep the 54 behind him as they are catching the leader, Brandon Wallace, who is again on old tires. And Kurtz and Cunningham are going to be able to get down to the low side to get around the 99 of Wallace. That separates Kurtz and Cunningham just a little bit, allows Kurtz a little bit of breathing room, as Cunningham's going to have to work hard to get back up. To get up to him. And yes, Joe, I said pounds it in deep. Sure did. So Cunningham, with the momentum lost, trying to chase down the 5 of Andy Kurtz yet again. A little further back, a little race back here. Jason Lottridge has gotten around Charles Stevens Jr. Logan Sturgeon has gotten around William Griffith. So one car separates those two. Again, still any man's game here tonight, as a late race caution could completely change the outcome of this race. And now Brandon Wallace has made his way down on the pit road. One driver who is absolutely hoping for a late race caution is the driver of the 13. Garrett Kinder has not been much of a factor here tonight. Currently 9 seconds behind our leader, Andy Kurtz. He has not had a handle on his car all night long. And it's really showing here in the late race runnings. Kurtz now starting to pull away from Daniel Cunningham quite a bit. Now has a half-second lead. As a battle for the lucky dog is heating up between Peg Leg Feltz and Michael Kosick. And Logan Sturgeon is about 5 seconds back behind that group, with about a 15-second lead over his nemesis, Jason Lottridge. We go back on board with Garrett Kinder. He's got a little fresher tires now. Doesn't look like his car is handling any better than it was before, because he's still wrestling that car off the corner. So a tough night for Garrett Kinder, who dominated most of the season here in the Xtreme Xfinity Series, and just could not get a handle on the car tonight, as he continues to fall backwards, currently in the 4th position. But not where he wanted to be here tonight. He wanted to be up front, battling with Andy Kurtz and Daniel Cunningham for the championship. as the battle for the championship continues up front between Andy Kurtz and Daniel Cunningham. Cunningham, though, starting to slide back just a little bit. The interval now between the two drivers is 0.6 of a second. Although last time by, lap times were incredibly close. Just a couple hundredths of a second difference. That time, almost 0.2 difference, but the previous laps before, just a couple hundredths of a second between these two drivers. But Andy Kurtz slowly creeping away from the 54 of Daniel Cunningham as we take a look at the live delta between these two. And you see just slow, ever so slowly, that 5 machine pulling away from the 54 Daniel Cunningham. Although Daniel Cunningham could just be trying to cool off his tires as William Griffith has had some issues. He's down through the grass. Able to hold on to it. Let's see if we can see what happened to Griff here. Running that high lane, just loses it. Coming off of turn number 2, runs it through the grass, down through John Deere country. Able to hold on to it, so no caution. That was a caution that Garrett Kinder was really hoping for, although Kinder and Griff are teammates, so I know they'd be asking if Griff's arm itched or something. However, we don't want Spingate 2.0 here in the Rebels Racing League. But Griff really fighting that car. Even on the straightaway, he's loose. Another ill-handling car here tonight at Chicagoland. We've seen it all night long as these drivers have been fighting to hold on to their cars as the battle for the lucky dog is continuing. As Peg Leg Felts is currently in position to hold on to that lucky dog position if the caution was to come out, but Michael Kosick is hanging in right there behind him. Jason Warren currently running in the 3rd position. Has a mirror full of Jamie Mullins. Mullins currently running back in the 10th position. So this right here is not a battle for position. However, this is a battle for position as Jason Warren is catching the 54 of Daniel Cunningham, and Andy Kurtz has pulled out to a 1.5 second lead over Daniel Cunningham. So I know Adam Lang was cheering on Andy Kurtz a little bit ago. Kurtz still has that car on rails as Mullins takes a look down to the inside of Jason Warren. Again, not for position, but he is showing just a little bit more speed than that 32 machine. Again, haven't talked about it all night long, but down in the description, you'll find a couple links. The first link is to the home of the original Rebels, ORRLeague.com. That's ORRLeague.com, where you can find standings, stats, schedules, and any news regarding any of the leagues here in the original Rebels Racing League. So you can find that link below. Also below that, we do have a link down to our web store. Find hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, mouse pads, stickers for not just Intensity Broadcasting, but all your favorite Intensity Broadcasting leagues, such as the Original Rebels, SCSRA, Thunderstruck, and Mayhem Modified. So check that out. IntensityBroadcasting.com. Also, every champion from every league here on Intensity will get a free piece of swag courtesy of Intensity Broadcasting. So, again, check that out, IntensityBroadcasting.com. Jason Warren is there. He has caught Daniel Cunningham for that second position, as the 53 of Jamie Mullins has gotten around. And now Jason Warren trying to find his way around the 54 of Daniel Cunningham. So Andy Kurtz continues to stretch out his lead to just over 2 seconds over Daniel Cunningham and Jason Warren. Next time by, we'll have just 20 laps to go to settle it here, to end the season here in the Xtreme Xfinity Series, to crown a champion, and to finish the grudge match between Logan Sturgeon and Jason Lottridge. Charles Stevens Jr. just had some issues finding his way off track. Another driver fighting a loose car down off of turn number 4. Catches the grass a little bit, able to hold on to it, so no caution comes out. Caution is the last thing that Andy Kurtz wants to see. However, Daniel Cunningham, Garrett Kinder, both would love to see a caution right now to put them back into contention for the championship. So far, though, we've gone 130 laps, green flag racing. We've had 2 rounds of green flag pit stops. And no real incidents on tracks to throw a caution, so Andy Kurtz, his lead is starting to shrink a little bit. It was 2.2 seconds. Now it has fallen back to 1.8 seconds. As you can see, Daniel Cunningham starting to pick up the speed just a little bit. We've seen Cunningham have the late race speed all race long. Is he going to have enough time, though, to run down Andy Kurtz and pass him to win the race and the championship here tonight? As Jason Warren is waiting in the wings, trying to take over that second position if Cunningham was to slip up and make a mistake. Charles Stevens Jr. having another issue off track again on the front stretch. No caution, though. I think it's the same thing we just saw a moment ago. Just getting loose off of turn number 4. Yep. Again, goes through the grass. Really goes through the grass this time. But able to hold on to it again. And Jason Warren has just passed Daniel Cunningham for that second position. Let's take a look at how he made the pass. Looks like Cunningham got a little loose there off of turn number 4. Allows Warren to pull up and pass the 54 machine, which is going to make it even more difficult for Daniel Cunningham to win this race and the championship here tonight. We have just 15 laps to go, and Andy Kurt's lead is now extended to 2.2 seconds as we see a few drivers making their way down on the pit road. Charles Stevens Jr., Tyler Rice, both hitting pit lane. And Jonah Colbert coming down on the pit road as well. So that's going to move Garrett Kinder up into the 4th position. You see Brandon Wallace on fresher tires coming by on the high side. And with just 13 laps to go, can Andy Kurtz stay out in front? I know Ratchet Miller is usually the last person who likes to hear anything about cautions, but right now I'm sure he is currently watching and hoping for a caution here to allow Garrett Kinder back up into the mix. Same with the fans of Daniel Cunningham, another one who's hoping for a late race caution to give himself a chance out here for a championship. But the fans of Andy Kurtz hoping this stays green to the end. As Kurt's lead over Jason Warren is 2 seconds, but back to Daniel Cunningham, which is the championship, is 2.5 seconds. So as we get down to just 9 laps to go, I was trying to show where our playoff drivers are, but my track map is not working for me. So Andy Kurtz still leads Jason Warren by almost 2 seconds. Daniel Cunningham a half a second behind Warren. Garrett Kinder almost 15 seconds behind. And Travis Bieber currently running back in the 14th position. And he is, I believe, 6 laps down. As William Griffith is out there on fresh tires, trying to make his way around Jason Warren. Cuts it back and forth. Griff making it interesting here in the late runnings of the race. Up on the high side, has to lift to keep from running into Jason Warren, even though they are not running for position. We've seen Griff running that high lane all night long. And Daniel Cunningham waiting in the wings in case something was to happen. But right now, with just 5 laps to go, Andy Kurtz out in front by 2.2 seconds over Jason Warren. The other thing to know is Logan Sturgeon currently runs in the 8th position. And Jason Lottridge currently running back in 11th. So right now it looks like that $200 does belong to Jason Lottridge. I'm sorry, to Logan Sturgeon, excuse me. Logan Sturgeon. As Andy Kurtz continues to lead with just 4 laps to go, coming to 3 laps to go. The important thing is, can we stay green for 3 more laps, as Daniel Cunningham is starting to run down Jason Warren for that 2nd position. Andy Kurtz comes across the line. We have just 2 laps to go. This time by. William Griffith, though, sliding up to the high side to get one of his laps back from Andy Kurtz. And now we have just 2 laps to go. See Jamie Mullins right behind as well, also on a little fresher tires. But if Kurtz takes the white flag here, there will be no yellow flag, as white flag is in the air. Just 1 more lap, 1.5 more miles, 4 corners to go for the 5 of Andy Kurtz as he makes his way in cruise control through turns 1 and 2. As he makes his way through turns 3 and 4. Last year's Original Rebels Racing League Outlaw Series champion, Andy Kurtz, is going to come across the line and win here at Chicagoland the race and the championship. What a great driving performance here from Andy Kurtz, winning from the pole, leading almost all of the laps. You see Jamie Mullins congratulating him down the backstretch. Jason Warren comes home in 2nd. Daniel Cunningham comes home in 3rd. 2nd place in the points. Garrett Kinder through the grass on the front stretch. He's going to come home in 4th. 3rd place in points. And way back in 14th is your 4th place finisher in points, Travis Bieber. But Andy Kurtz celebrates here on the front stretch his championship, his 2nd championship of the Original Rebels Racing League. As Brandon Wallace comes through and the Original Rebels Racing League Demolition Derby commences. And we will take a look at your final results. Andy Kurtz with the win over Jason Warren. Daniel Cunningham, Garrett Kinder, and Chuck Pegleg Feltz rebounds for a 5th place finish. Michael Kosek, who had issues on pit road, comes home in 6th. Brandon Wallace, Jonah Colbert, Logan Sturgeon, and Jamie Mullins. Jason Lottridge comes home 11th. Sam Wetstein back in 12th. Charles Stevens Jr., Travis Bieber, William Griffith, Tyler Rice, and Ray Page round out the rest of the field here at Chicagoland. And congratulations to Logan Sturgeon, who has won the grudge match between himself and Jason Lotridge. As we get ready to talk to our top 3 finishers here tonight. And tonight's post-race interviews are brought to you by Shappy Edits. Let's see if we can bring in our 3rd place finisher, Daniel Cunningham, into the booth with us here tonight. Just going to give them a moment to talk to each other back there tonight. Daniel, got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Josh.
Man, great run here tonight. Coming home a little short, up in 3rd place. But a heck of a run here tonight, showing some speed, especially later in the runs. I know you're probably hoping for a late race caution to catch Andy Kurtz there, but the track looked so loose tonight. How were you guys able to hold on to the cars when everyone else was having so much trouble?
It was definitely as loose as it looked, especially running the bottom early on in the run. It seemed like there was more speed up on the top groove, especially in 1 and 2 on fresh tires, and I think that helped out a lot. And from there, I mean, it was hanging on by a thread. It was definitely on the edge most of the night.
Well, it was a great run there. At the end, I thought you were going to have something for it, but Jason Warren came out of nowheres, kind of showed some speed there towards the end, and took away your chances at possibly getting a championship tonight. But overall, great season. I'm sure you can't be disappointed with the season overall.
Yeah, it's definitely a good season. I can safely say I don't think I've ever had my ass whipped driving a race like that before in these Xfinity cars. Hats off to Andy. I gave it everything I had on fresher tires. I think I was a little bit faster than him in that last run. I knew I had to try to undercut to get a shot at him, and it worked out. And he was able to do what he needed to do to hang on to it. So there at the end, when Warren got around me, I pretty much had nothing left at that point. I drove the tires off of it trying to get around him when I had the chance.
Well, again, nothing to look down on this season, long season. Able to come home in second is still a great job. So congratulations to that. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank? Any shout outs you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, appreciate everybody that showed up week in and week out for this 800 week seemingly season that we had. I appreciate you guys putting on the broadcast every week. Whether it was you or one of the other guys, you always did a phenomenal job with it. Shout out, I think my wife is watching too. I know my brother and sister-in-law are watching, and it's my nephew's first birthday coming up. So happy birthday to him coming up. And yeah, just definitely a long season, good season. Happy to finish second, but man, wish I would have been able to finish that one out.
For sure. I ran this season last year, and I remember how long it was. So, again, congrats to you, and I'm sure we'll be talking again soon.
Thanks, Josh.
That was your 3rd place finisher, Daniel Cunningham. Let's bring in your 2nd place finisher, Jason Warren. Jason, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Man, congratulations. Coming out of nowheres there, showing some speed late, and getting the Ray Cobb Hard Charger Award tonight, up 12 positions from where you started. Man, as much as these guys were having a difficulty holding on to the cars tonight, you were able to show some speed, especially late. What was the secret to keeping the speed through the run?
I really have no idea. This is by far my worst car. I have really good hot lap speed in these cars, but as far as tire wear, I'm normally pretty awful. So I didn't even qualify. I decided to start in the back, and then just made my way up through there, and around lap 25, I was like, hey, snap, still got a little bit of tire lap. Starting a little bit excited.
Yeah, for sure, and definitely showing the speed late in the run. And I'm sure you were kind of also hoping for a late race caution to give yourself a chance at Andy Kurtz to steal the winner 8-way tonight.
Yeah, we got within, I think like a second and a half with, I think 8 or 9 to go. And I just started pushing the car too hard. I got loose off 3 and 4, like 2 straight laps, and then got back. I think it's like 2.2, and that's all she wrote. Anytime I got within like a second and a half or even 2 seconds, it's almost like I just hit a bubble. Like I could gain a couple of tenths and I'd lose a couple. Probably just not running a smooth, consistent line like I should have been. But overall, I'm very pleased with the run.
Well, again, congrats on the 2nd place finisher and the Ray Cobb Hard Charger Award. Before we let you go, anyone you want to shout out? Any thanks you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, big shout out to Velocity Motorsports. You for doing a broadcast. You do a tremendous job. all the guys over at Rebels, the admin in this league. I don't really run it much because I don't like these cars, but this league in general on Friday nights is very, very good. A lot of fast guys, very clean drivers. Shout out to Jonah and Cunningham for doing a great job in this league. I think it lasted like 2.5 years long or something. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I ran, like I said before, I ran the season last year. I remember how long the season was, so it's glad to see it finish up, and I'm excited to see what comes of the season next year.
I appreciate it, man.
Have a great night.
You too.
That was your second place finisher and Ray Cobb Hard Charger Award, Jason Warrens. Let's bring in your winner tonight. And not just the winner of the race, but your champion tonight, Andy Kurtz. Andy, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Got you, Josh. What's up?
Man, these championship interviews are becoming a thing between the two of us. Last year, you won the Outlaw Championship with me on the call. Tonight, you win the Xfinity Championship. Man, how's it feel to be crowned a double-time champion here in the Rebels?
Feels awesome, man. I have no words. I'm absolutely whooped after that race. Super tough track, tough car, and racing with Daniel there for pretty much all that race, man. It was really tough. He was keeping me super honest. Yeah, it was a good race. I don't even know what to say. I can't believe it.
For sure, and I was surprised at how pretty of a wheel you were able to hold all night long. Seemed like everybody else was cutting the wheel hard to the right. Kinder was almost completely locked a lot of their laps, and you just had the wheel straight and the car was on rails. How were you able to maintain your tires and hold that speed all the way through the run tonight?
Yeah, I mean, when I first started practicing earlier, I mean, I was driving the same way. The car's super loose, feels like it has a ton of power, and track doesn't have much grip. As it got later in the session, the sun went down and it got dark. The track gripped up a little bit. I had to learn how I could kind of push the car more than I felt like I was in the beginning, but still pretty much drove it the same way. But yeah, I mean, I was just really just trying to be patient, not pushing it any harder than I had to, just keeping Daniel behind me, trying to save my right rear. I mean, that was really the issue over the long run. If you get that heated up too much, it's easy to keep getting it hotter and hotter and spinning up every turn. So just try not doing that, and yeah, it worked out.
Well, again, congratulations on the win and the championship tonight. And before we let you go celebrate, anybody you want to thank? Any shots you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, well, I mean, one last time. I know we have the Outlaws on Sunday and a couple more weeks, but I want to thank you for putting on. Again, thank you every time, but on such a great show every Friday night in this Xfinity series. This was an absolute blast. I want to thank the guys who put this together for us, Jonah, Daniel, just helping this league be as awesome as it is. And I know the guys were kind of busting that this was such a long season, but it gave me a chance to figure out the car because I wasn't very good a couple months ago. So it's a ton of fun. Again, I want to thank you. I want to thank our series sponsor, Goat Locker Racing, Big Fish Motorsports, Kinder Farm and Ranch, Shappy Edits, Smeal Racing Designs, Magic Mike Motorsports, Griff, Peg Leg Felts, and P&J Motorsports.
Awesome job, man. And before we let you go, what do you like your chances in the Outlaws the rest of the season?
Well, I assume I'm not going to be too lucky and get two of them here, but give it our all. I do like the trucks a lot. Tracks are pretty good for me, so we'll see. A lot of really good guys though in that series, just like this one. So just got to work out.
For sure. Well, again, congratulations on the championship, and we'll be talking soon again, I'm sure, in the Outlaw series.
Cool, man. See you then.
Let's bring up our third place in points finisher, Garrett Kinder, because I know everybody wants to talk to Kinder. Kinder, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, Josh, what's going on, man?
Man, I know you probably didn't expect me to pull you in, but heck of a season for you this year. I know a little disappointed coming home in third. Looked like you were really sawing on the wheel in there. For someone who normally likes a loose race car, you're really struggling out there tonight. But overall, a great season. How would you round out the night here tonight?
Man, I can't say anything other than congratulations to Kurtz. went out there and just kind of whooped all our asses on it. So a big shout out to him and then Daniel for finishing up there. Yeah, typically I like a looser setup. It's kind of weird. I think a lot of it was the bumps. Hadn't raced Chicagoland in quite some time. Got to thinking back after last week, you said that I had won a late night, but the late night championship was at Michigan, so completely different track. But it's been a while since I've even been on Chicagoland. Didn't get much practice in, but man, it was fun. After I kind of realized that I didn't have a snowball's chance in hell with the deal, I got back there and was kind of sending it. And that's probably when you saw me sawing on the wheel, having a good time, trying to dirt track off every corner and save it up to the wall. But it was a good time. Congratulations to the champion. It was a good season. Glad it's over.
For sure. And again, congrats on the third place finisher. I know it's not the result you're looking for, but always good to be in that top four for sure. And yeah, it seemed like every time we looked in on you, you were sawing on the wheel. So right from the beginning. So it must have been fun for you out there. But yeah, long season for sure. Glad it's over. And I'm sure you're looking forward to the truck series.
Yeah, truck series rolling around. We're starting to wind it down as well. Just got 4 or 5 more weeks left to it. So, man, we're fixing to be on a good little off-season stretch. I hope can recoup and regroup and then come back for the next season and hopefully make a few more appearances in the playoffs.
For sure. And I know Ratchet's always giving me a hard time for mentioning the C word, but I'm sure you guys were hoping for it tonight to give yourself a little chance to get back up there.
I was begging for one. And everybody was saying, I'd see somebody down in the grass, they'd pull it back on track. I'm like, man, come on. Help a brother out. But it just wasn't happening.
Well, I saw Griff do that once or twice, and I was going to call Spingate for a second, but
The thought crossed my mind. I ain't gonna lie. We were chatting it up in race comms saying, hey man, why don't you just, dump that thing next time, see what happens. And Kurtz was like, no, please don't. But it was fun. Like Kurtz, man, he walked it tonight. He got up front, qualified up there, and nobody could touch him. So big shout out to him. Congratulations. Long season. This is a well-deserved championship. He ran good all season.
Well, I was wondering if Griff's arm was itching at one point of that race, but glad to see you guys were able to run green.
Boyer, I thought about it.
Able to run green flag the whole way. Before we let you go, though, I know you got a laundry list you got to give thanks to tonight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Got to thank Kinder Farm Ranch. Thank you up in the booth broadcasting this entire season. A lot of fun going back and watching these races every time. So I know this season was just as long and grueling for you as it was for us. So big shout out to you, Kinder Farm Ranch. Like I said before, love having them in the car. Ratchet Speed Shop, Big Freak Cross 5 Cattle Coolers, Wolfpack Racing, Ray Page over there. Good guy to know. All my teammates over at Reaper Racing, and man, honestly, for this Xfinity series, all the guys over at JC Motorsports. I hung out with them for most of the season. Just kind of ran their voice chat and chatted up with Eddie and Jonah and Daniel and Charles Stevens hopped in there at the end too for the last few races. So big shout out to those guys. Picked up a couple new team for some short track stuff and a little bit of big car stuff. So new team, Velocity Motorsports. Really glad to be on board with them. Go and get some officials opens, trying to pull down some wins for them. Shock Eye Racer Performance for the big car stuff. Everybody over at Superior Performance Motorsports. Really good group of guys. Really looking forward to next season as long as we can wait a little bit before it starts.
For sure. I'm looking forward to that as well. And again, congratulations on the playoffs. And we'll be talking to you, I'm sure, in the truck race this weekend.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Josh.
All right, we've got one more interview to do. I know it's the one that everybody's been waiting for, and that is the 26 of Logan Sturgeon. Logan, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, what's going on, bud?
You know, you probably weren't expecting me to pull you in here, but
no, I was talking about something else.
But I figured I'd catch you and congratulate you on winning the Grudge Match here tonight at Chicagoland. You kind of called your shot, and it's got to feel pretty good to finally get this one over and done with.
Yeah, no, it feels good to get it over. I can finally get drunk and start racing again. Been racing sober for 3 weeks, ain't fun. But no, it was fun. I had fun competing with Lottridge. He's it's all in good fun. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad that it wasn't going to that tiebreaker that they had set up.
Well, I was actually kind of looking forward to the tiebreaker, but No, it was glad to see. Glad to see it over. Glad to see you won. Congratulations again. Just wanted to get that shout out there for you tonight while we were still live, and hopefully we see more grudge matches like this because it's kind of fun. It adds a little interest here to the broadcast.
Oh, I'm sure this ain't the only one, so there's probably going to be more coming down the road.
So who's the next ones in the chat? Have you heard?
Against me or just in general?
Oh, in general, I want to know if you've heard anything.
No, I don't know. We're gonna have to discuss that after this ARCA race. Figure out who's gonna be up next because it definitely got a lot of the league members involved, which made it a lot more fun. There's a big side poll that was going on for it, so we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, we had all the numbers and the side bets in here as well. So again, congratulations, and we'll be talking to you soon.
All right, man. Have a good night.
So there you have it. That is the end of the Xtreme Xfinity series here on Intensity Broadcasting. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here tonight. Everybody who stuck around, and if you're still watching after the races live, if you're watching the rerun, we do appreciate your support as well. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube. Hit that little notification bell. Let us know when we're broadcasting so you never miss a race here on Intensity Broadcasting. Don't forget to check out both our web store, intensitybroadcasting.com, as well as the home of the Original Rebels Racing League at ORRleague.com. And for the last time in the Xtreme Xfinity series for this season, as our boy Atlee Atman-Weiss would say, congratulations to Andy Kurtz, and over and out.